Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The WNBA, the old guard WNBA, is in absolute panic mode about a new book soon to be released by the one and only Christine Brennan. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. So we're going to talk specifically here about Cheryl Reeve. But of course, there are some others in panic mode as well. This is a book from Christine Brennan. You may remember Christine Brennan. We've talked about her. She was the one who dared to ask Dejanay Carrington about the eye poke on Caitlin Clark. And then the Players Union put out their ridiculous statement that looked like it was written by an overly emotional 5-year-old trying to get Christine Brennan fired. Now, also, just to keep this in perspective, the WNBA, all the whining and complaining and moaning that they've done about not having, not being on the same platform as the NBA and not getting paid all this money and on and on and on. And these are a bunch of people who have never done anything, right? They just want to guilt you into, oh, look at us. Woe is us. We are women. We are oppressed in America. Therefore, give us stuff. Yet they tried to take away the credentials of Christine Brennan for doing her job as a journalist. Christine Brennan has done more than everyone involved in the WNBA for its entire existence combined when it comes to women in sports. Started at the Miami Herald, folks. Became the Herald's, guess what? First female sports reporter in 81. Covered the Miami Hurricanes during their 84 Orange Bowl game, wrote her first book after that, eventually joined the Washington Post, and on and on and on. Awards like 1993 Capital Press Women's Woman of Achievement, 2002 Reed Searle Distinguished Lecturer, 2002 U.S. Sports Academy's Ronald Reagan Award, 2003 Jake Wade Award for the College Sports Information Directors of America, and on and on and on. A couple of times getting AWSM's Pioneer Award. Woman of the Year by WISE, which is Women in Sports and Events. This is who they don't like. Now, I want to get back specifically to Cheryl Reeve. And you remember some of the nonsense from Cheryl Reeve, and she was a big reason Caitlin Clark was not on the Olympic team. And then, she made that emphasis that she doesn't give two you-know-whats and doesn't even give one when she was asked about that and so forth. And apparently she found out some things that Christine, that was written in Christine Brennan's upcoming book. And it was something we talked about a while back, and we're going to get into because Cheryl Reeve says, hey, you know what? This is not true. This didn't happen. What she wrote is fiction. Is it though, Cheryl? We'll listen to what Cheryl has to say here. We'll talk about that. And we'll also let you know that it is not, in fact, fiction.
What she wrote is fiction. And if she were paying attention, one of the things that I have done for years is held the league accountable for their missteps, mishaps, their lack of representation of all teams. And so that particular situation had nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It had everything to do with a WNBA social media post that promoted one preseason game and not all preseason games. And so I simply said that, and by the way, the Minnesota Lynx are playing the Chicago Sky, which, also had some popular player in Angel Reese that people were interested in. And it simply wasn't posted on their account. I also posted things when Nafisa Collier was not including in promotion of the greatness of our league. And I, made posts. And so if Christine Brennan were being thorough and a legitimate reporter in this situation, she would have gotten full context, but it didn't fit the narrative. Christine Brennan likes to have a villain in her storytelling. I am Christine Brennan's villain. That's what that's the sword she's going to die on. And it's a fiction, the stuff that she has written about me and my interest in Caitlin Clark being on or off the team.
You're everybody's villain, Cheryl, and this is a lie. First of all, what I found really interesting too, before we can get into the Caitlin Clark stuff, is just in general look, apologies. When I say things like this, I don't really, I'm not saying this is all women or this and that, but it's my dig at the WNBA because they have obviously played into the stereotype of overly emotional women. Clearly, not all women are like those in the WNBA, but they surely lean into it heavily with this nonsense. Now, first, but what I was going to say is, you know what this reminds me of? Like, if you set aside the Caitlin Clark stuff, when she says, "Oh, they only promoted one game." Well, first of all leagues do that, right? When the Chicago Bulls had Michael Jordan and they're going through their two three-peats, do you think the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan got more of the marketing from the NBA than other teams? Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Are we serious with this? So this also sounds like Sheila Johnson. Remember the Caitlin Clark gets an individual award from Time Magazine, and Sheila Johnson's response is, well, players will feel bad because they should all the players in the league should be on the cover of Time for Caitlin Clark's individual award. Absolutely absurd, of course, but that's where we seem to be with the WNBA. Now, Cheryl, remember this? Now, here's this specifically, and I want to point this out because it says it was now deleted by the post author. So, see, Cheryl is going to lie and she's not going to stand on what she said. It says it's clocking to me that she's not standing on business because they only care about Caitlin. And then below that, that post that was deleted, that was Cheryl Reeve's post. So we'll actually take a look at that. But I want to back up with Christine Brennan because she has also responded. Seems like a good time to repost this. I gave Cheryl Reeve a chance to address this in June of 2024, July of 2024, August of 2024, and February of 2025. She either said she didn't want to comment or never replied at all. Of course, that's her choice. But this happened and it's in my book. Yes, it absolutely did happen. So here's what Cheryl is talking about. And again, even this isn't a great look because it's like saying, just like Sheila Johnson, well, every piece of marketing, every piece of content that WNBA puts out, apparently to Cheryl, it should include something about every player and every team in the league, which of course is absurd, right? Absolutely absurd. Um, when because it was just on last week, and when the U.S. Open was doing, commercials for the upcoming U.S. Open, you weren't having every promo, every piece of content was not every single player that was going to be in the tournament. So her response to this was, yeah, also in action tonight, Lynx Sky thought though fans won't be able to watch, Lynx fans can go to the Lynx app to follow along via play-by-play. Or if you were in market, come to the game as we start the season off right. Okay, that's fine. Now, again, she's still, a little iffy with the whole market everyone at all the time. But let's keep going. So here it was, folks. Someone says, by the way, that's the one who allegedly likes to punch children, right? Asia Wilson's best friend. Is there a reason why it's not being shown? And then someone says, because they only care about Caitlin. And Cheryl Reeve responded to that part, as in, yes, they only care about Caitlin. So yes, Cheryl Reeve, you were being pissy. You were getting all up in your feels and upset that the WNBA promoted a game with the only player in the league who has ever been popular and crossed over into, say, mainstream sports fandom, as opposed to the little club that the WNBA has always been. And that is this, folks. That is what she has now deleted, so she can then lie about what Christine Brennan is saying about her. Oh, and one more thing, just, for those of you that might have forgotten, I did this a while back. You can go see the whole video. This video actually crushed it. 44,000 views, man. And that's because 1.1K likes. Smash that like button. It helps out so much. It gets worse for Olympic coach Cheryl Reeve. She gets exposed on video for being a terrible human. So Aerial Powers, who I believe just signed with the LA Sparks, so congrats to her. This last year, she went to the All-Star game. She had played previously for Cheryl Reeve. I don't know what went on in there, but Cheryl Reeve did not like Aerial Powers for whatever reason. And as crazy as real life can sometimes be, and you would think this was fiction, and Aerial Powers ended up on the same plane as Cheryl Reeve. And Ariel going into this was doing, like for a YouTube channel. She was videoing and talking about how God has a sense of humor and everything. Then she gets on the plane, and guess what? She actually ended up having her seat next to Cheryl Reeve. So I just want to play this quick little clip because you've got to see what happens if you don't remember.
This is my seat, sir.
That's Cheryl Reeve, by the way.
Okay.
It gets better. Yes, you're seeing what you're seeing. Yeah, there you go, folks.
Hey, how you doing?
So what you just saw was Cheryl Reeve, as soon as she saw Ariel Powers was sitting next to her, got up and switched seats with somebody across the aisle. This is who Cheryl Reeve is, and now Cheryl Reeve is very upset that Christine Brennan is going to expose the absolutely horrific human being that she is. So I tell you what, look, and by the way, this is great marketing, and now I'm doing a video at it right on it. So this is great for Christine Brennan and her book. Cheryl Reeve has actually gotten a lot more people are going to find out that Cheryl Reeve is lying in this clip by saying this. She should have never said anything, but it's going to be interesting. I'm really curious as to what Christine Brennan puts out. I hope this is not a nothing burger when I get the book. I hope it's not a whole lot of, hey, there's this might be in it, and this might be in it, and this might be in it, and then we don't get a whole lot of good stuff. But I am curious as to what Christine Brennan has in this book about the WNBA, because her track record is that she's pretty good at what she does, so we shall see. But I had to talk about this, especially when I did this video last year, and we know about Cheryl Reeve being instrumental in keeping Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team and all that nonsense. I don't give two craps. I don't give even one. You know how it is. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you so much. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.